Hi, it's Teacher Neil, and today we will be talking about advertising. Now, in your IELTS exam, people might ask you what kind of ads are effective in your country, or what kind of ads do you like, or what kind of ads get on your nerves. Now, today we will be looking at a lot of useful vocabulary that you can use to express yourself when you get asked these questions in your IELTS exam. Now, let's look at the different forms of advertising. The first one we have is commercials. Now, a commercial is usually on during TV or during a TV show. There will be breaks called ad breaks. And during the ad breaks, they will show a commercial that will promote a product. So you can say, you know what? I like a good, clever TV commercial. Another word for it is commercial advertising. And if you look here, during prime time means the time when most people watch television or the most popular TV programs. So that is usually during a popular sitcom or during a big sporting event. So for example, you can say, I love the ads that they show during prime time viewing or during prime time TV. The ads are always very clever and it's very interesting for me to see how they do it. Going on, we have promotional flyers. Promotional flyers are the pieces of paper that people can either hand to you or sometimes you see them on a street sign like this, a paper like this, or people handing over the pieces of paper that promote a certain product or promote a certain company. So for example, you can say, you know what? I don't really like promotional flyers. I hate it when people just hand them to me on the street because I don't know what to do with them. So you can say whether you think promotional flyers are an effective form of advertising or not. Moving on. We have classified advertisements, or another word for them are newspaper ads. The newspaper ads you will usually find in the back of a newspaper, and usually they are very small like this with a number and some information promoting either a company or a product. So you can say, you know what, I use the computer so often, I never even read newspaper ads anymore. But actually, I found my job looking at the newspaper ads. Moving on, we have got billboards. Now, if you don't know what a billboard is usually on top of a building, and a billboard is a big sign. So, billboards are a very eye-catching form of advertisement because it can be seen by many cars or pedestrians walking in the street. But sometimes they can be quite an eyesore. Let me write that here. Eyesore, which means that it bothers your eyes. It's very annoying. So, when asked, do you think billboards are an effective form of advertisement? You can say either, yes, I think they're very effective. I have found a lot of interesting companies by looking at billboard ads. Or you can say, I don't think they're very effective. For me, they are quite an eyesore. Moving on. Telemarketing, let me just dot this T. Telemarketing, or another word for it, is cold calling. Now, what telemarketing is when a company will ask one telemarketer to call different numbers. Cold calling means we don't know who the people really are. They just get a lot of different numbers and then they will call them at random. So, sometimes you're minding your own business and you get a call from an unknown number and somebody says, hello, did you know that so-and-so company is holding a promotion? Please talk to me more and I'll give you more information. So, during your IELTS exam, you can always say, I like TV commercials, especially the clever ones, but I really, really hate telemarketing and I hate receiving cold calls. It's so annoying that I just want to shout at the telemarketers. So is it an effective form of advertisement? You tell us. Moving on. Let me just dot the T. Transit advertising. Now, what is transit advertising? Usually it involves transportation. Usually you might have seen on the side of a bus, they are promoting or advertising a new movie or a company or any kind of advertisement. So transit advertisement can either be on a bus or maybe at the bus stop while you're waiting, you can also see an ad in the back for something like KFC or McDonald's promoting a new product. So you can also say, as an example, I like some transit advertisement. I didn't know about this one movie, but I saw the movie being promoted on the side of a bus, and that really got me curious. Moving on, we have the word sponsorship. A sponsorship. Now, what is a sponsorship? A sponsorship is when a certain company pays either a celebrity or actor to endorse a product or to endorse a brand. And what that means is, for example, Nike will pay a lot of money to someone like LeBron James to promote Nike shoes or promote Nike sporting equipment or clothes. So a sponsorship usually means the company pays somebody to promote the ad and to be exclusive to their certain brand. So they will become the face of the product. So you can say, you know what? I wasn't really a Nike guy. I was more of an Adidas guy, but LeBron James is my favorite athlete. And after seeing him promoting the Nike and being sponsored by Nike, I decided to switch brands. And sponsorship is usually a very effective form of marketing. So during your exam, you can say, I don't like transit advertising, I hate telemarketing, but I think that sponsorships, especially in my country, are very effective in getting people to either recognize a brand or to buy a certain brand. And the last one we have here is guerrilla marketing. Now, it's not gorilla like the animal, it's not guerrilla marketing, it is guerrilla marketing. And what that means is it is unconventional. Unconventional means not usual or not normal or not standard. So guerrilla marketing is the kind of marketing that is usually very surprising and that you do not expect. Usually guerrilla marketing will be like street art. For example, if you see either you can have transit advertising that is guerrilla marketing, like you have a bench and on the bench you have either a piece of art or you have a broken piece of ad, or sometimes street art like on a building you have a man or something coming down that is very eye-catching, but you at first think, what is that? Oh my gosh, is that real? So guerrilla marketing is unconventional, it is artistic, and it is not the normal kind of advertisement. So usually young people will go for guerrilla marketing because it is so eye-catching. So in your exam, you can say, I love clever guerrilla marketing. It's almost like art to me and it stops being a commercial. Oh, I almost forgot. There are two other very effective forms of advertisement. Let me write them down. First, we have internet ads, or another word for them are online ads or online marketing. And usually that involves things like Facebook ads, Instagram ads, or Google ads. So we can just write here Facebook, Instagram, or Google ads. They are usually very effective, and your company can pay for them to get more exposure. If you don't know the word exposure, that means more people can see your brand or your product and identify with it. So you can say, in my country, online ads are a very effective form of advertisement because in my country, everybody is online, either on Instagram or on Facebook, and my company uses a lot of online marketing to promote our products. One more thing that we can use is covert ads. Now, if you don't know what the word covert means unsuspecting or unexpected. Let me write over here. Unexpected or even subtle ads. For example, a good example of that is in a movie, maybe a famous actor will drink a can of Coca-Cola. Now, he is not saying, oh, I love Coca-Cola or Coca-Cola is great, but the fact that you see your favorite actor drinking the Coca-Cola is a form of advertisement, and Coca-Cola will pay the actor to do that. So, covert ads, just to say one more time, means unexpected or subtle. It is not direct. Let me write here, not direct. So you can say, in America, covert advertisement is very effective and widely used. But in my country, we don't really use covert ads. We rather use online ads because we feel it gives our brand more exposure. Next, we will be looking at ways that you can say when the questionnaire asks, what do you like in an advertisement, or what do you dislike? What do you think are effective ads or ineffective ads? Or what do you think of false advertisement? You can use this vocabulary to strengthen your vocabulary and your answer. We will look at the like and the dislike sections of how to describe ads. Now, let's take a look. First, we have the word catchy jingle. Catchy jingle, or a catchy tune. Now what that means is a jingle is like a little song at the end of an ad to make you remember the product, usually involving the name of the company. For example, McDonald's. Da 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 da, I'm loving it. That's a good example of a catchy jingle because it will stay in your head. So you can say, I like an ad with a catchy jingle because it will stay in my head for the whole day. Moving on, we have creative advertisements. Now, if you remember the previous section, we discussed guerrilla advertising. So you can say, I love creative advertisement that are not conventional or not the standard way. For example, guerrilla marketing, I think, are very creative forms of advertisement, and I appreciate it because it is more like art than just an ad. Moving on, we have the word entertaining. So what does entertaining mean? It means that it makes you happy, almost like a TV show. It makes you smile or it makes you laugh. So a slogan, like a memorable slogan, could always be entertaining, or you can use it to reference or joke with your friends. What a slogan is, the slogan is the, how can I say, the sentence that the company uses to make you remember their brand. For example, Nike, just do it. Nike, just do it. That is a memorable slogan, and you can even put it on a t-shirt, which makes it that much more entertaining. So you can say, I like ads that are entertaining, and I like an ad with a good slogan. It always cheers me up, and I think it is effective to stay in your memory. Moving on, vigorous words. Vigorous words. Now, vigorous words means it is very lively or very active sounding words, very powerful words that can really make the product stay memorable in your head. For example, you can say, this new product is invigorating, it gives you stamina, and it improves your longevity. So vigorous words are sometimes very memorable and a strong way of creating an image in your mind so that you will have a positive association with the product or with the ad. So you can say, I like an ad that is not only a good video, but also uses vigorous words to make me very positive and makes me curious about the product. Another word is testimonials. Now, what are testimonials? Testimonials are ads where somebody tells you their experience using the product. For example, let's think of something like hair regrowth. You can see either a celebrity or a normal person saying, you know what, I've always had trouble with my hair, but after I started using this product, it has changed my life in so many ways. That is a good example of a testimonial. So testimonial just means other people's experience using the product. And in conjunction with that, word of mouth. So the word of mouth is what you hear from your friends. Your friends will say, oh, you know what? I started using this shampoo and it really helped me. It really changed my hair completely. So you can say testimonials and word of mouth for me are the most effective forms of advertisement because I don't trust everything on TV, but I will trust what my friends have to say. So in conclusion, when you get asked, what do you think makes an ad effective, or what do you think makes an effective ad, you can use these words. For example, you know what, for me, a good effective ad is one that uses a catchy jingle that is memorable for me so I can remember the ad. Something that's very creative, a creative ad that is different from all the other ones, or even almost like a creative show or a piece of art. I like entertaining ads, you know, and an ad with a good slogan will always make me remember it and makes the product stand out in my mind. I like it when an ad uses vigorous words because it makes me more interested in the product. And if I see someone give a testimonial of the product, or if my friends with the word of mouth tell me that the product was really effective or good for them, it will make me consider buying that product even more. Moving on, we will now look at the words used to describe things that we dislike about advertisements. So, when somebody asks you, what don't you like about ads? Or what do you think is an ineffective form of advertisement? You can use these words. For example, celebrity endorsement. So, a celebrity endorsement, what that means, it is, as we mentioned earlier, sponsorships or sometimes covert marketing, when a famous celebrity says, you know what, "This hair product always works for me and I recommend it." Some people like it, some people dislike it. But celebrity endorsement means that they are endorsing the product. Endorsing means that they are promoting it. But of course, they get paid for that, unlike a testimonial. Moving on, we have product placement. Product placement is also essentially covert marketing or covert advertisement. So let me just write here, covert. Product placement means you are watching a movie, and in the movie you see either the logo or the sign of a certain company, or you see the actor drinking a special product where you can see the brand image of a certain company. For example, Justin Bieber is drinking some Sprite. He doesn't say anything, but he still uses it, and you see it, and it sticks in your brain. You can use, for example, you can say, "I don't like product placement in a TV show because I feel it is very cheap, and I think that children will be very susceptible to product placement, especially with celebrities that they look up to." Moving on, we have provocative ads. Provocative ads. Now, that comes from the word provoke. Let me write here, provoke. Provoking ads or provocative ads are usually very shocking. They will say things that will get a reaction out of people or make some people upset or some people angry. For example, if they say things like, "You know, women aren't supposed to do this and this and this," that is a provocative ad because some people will go, "That's not so. How can you say that?" Or they will use shocking footage. For example, animal being mistreated or a child being sad or something like that. It is effective because it stays in our memory, but you can say, "I don't like it when companies use provocative ads because it is very upsetting, and I don't think that children should be exposed to such provocative ads or shocking images." Moving on. Exaggerated claims. Exaggerated claims. So what does the word exaggerate means? Exaggerate means you use words to make it sound better than it really is. For example, a good exaggerated claim is we can use the word miracle or cure. Miracle means something almost magic, like God made something happen that you cannot explain. Or a cure means that it takes away the sickness completely. For example, if someone says, "This new product is a miracle cure, and I was having problems, but after using this, it all went away." Now that is a very exaggerated claim. It might not even be true, but they use these words to make people think and feel it will work, even if it isn't true. So you can say, "I hate exaggerated claims within advertisement. My father listened to one and that product didn't work at all and he wasted his money." Misleading words are very similar to exaggerated words and claims. They fall under the same category. So a misleading word is also words like cure or miracle, things that make you think it is very special or very good, but they don't tell you the full truth, especially with hidden disclaimers. Now, a hidden disclaimer, a good use of that is when some companies promote medicine or medication. I'll write here for you, medication or pills. Now, medication and pills and medicine are promoted a lot in America. And then usually they will use all three of these. They will use exaggerated claims, misleading words, and in the end, a hidden disclaimer. Now, what is a hidden disclaimer? That is, at the end, they give a little star with a lot of words that you cannot see clearly. So they will say, have you been feeling sad? Well, I've tried this new product, and after that, I have felt so much better. My life has changed. Misleading words. And I feel like $1 million. I feel like I can do anything. Exaggerated claims. And in the end, they will say, please note that if you want to take this, you must ask your doctor first. If you take this, bad things can happen like this and 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 this. But after that, they will just go back to the misleading words and say, my life was so terrible, and after that, my life has changed and I'm so happy. So you can say, I don't like certain ads with a lot of misleading words and exaggerated claims, and at the end, they have so many words in the hidden disclaimer because I feel it is very dishonest and misleading. Moving on. Drowning in ads and flooded with ads are good vocabulary words that we can use to describe situations like online marketing or internet ads. So we will say, oh, I'm flooded with ads. The ads are everywhere. Drowning and flooded both means you are under the water and you cannot breathe. So that means that there are too much or too many ads, and it's difficult to go through all of them, especially on some internet websites where the pop-up ads just go pop, 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 pop. And there are so many that you can say, oh, I'm trying to get to this website, but it is flooded with ads. I'm drowning in all these ads and I cannot even go out to the website that I wanted to use. The last one we can use is be wary of false advertising. Wary means be careful. False advertising means that the product says one thing, but it is not true. So once again, misleading words and exaggerated claims. So you can say, when asked, what don't you like in an ad? You can say, I am always wary of false advertisement, especially ones with a lot of misleading words and exaggerated claims. There's always a hidden disclaimer that you cannot read carefully and that they show too fast. I don't like celebrity endorsements. I dislike product placements because I feel that it is susceptible to young children. I don't like provocative ads because sometimes it can upset me, and sometimes they use a lot of shocking videos that will stay with me for the whole night. Moving on, we'll now be looking at the section of the positive impact of advertising and the negative impact of advertising. In your IELTS exam, people might ask you, what do you think are the positive and negative aspects of advertising? And you can use this vocabulary to strengthen your answer and fully express how you feel. Now let's take a look. For customers, the positive impact of advertising, we can say, is it will help consumers. Consumers means people who buy certain products. It will help consumers to make informed choices, or help them to choose between different products or choose the best products. So, one effective thing of advertisement you can say is it helps me to choose the best product. There are so many different products, I didn't know which one to choose, but the ads helped me to see that this product was healthier and also used more natural ingredients, which for me is a very important aspect I consider when choosing a brand or a product. For companies, we can say that advertisement is vital to or indispensable for their sales. So what that means is vital and indispensable means very important. It is very important for their sales. So you can say, I am a salesman, or I work for a certain company, and in my company, advertisements are vital for our sales. It's vital to our sales or indispensable for our sales. If we didn't have advertisement, we wouldn't get nearly the amount of customers we have today. It can also help you to reach the target audience. What that means is the group of people, the group of customers that you want to speak to. So for example, if you are using a toy, if you're advertising a toy, your target audience will be children. So you want to use an ad that will be effective for children to remember and to tell their parents about. Promote or spread awareness. Sometimes a company wants to do a social initiative. They want to do something to help the people or the environment, or they want to make people know more about health. So then, for a company, the advertisement will help to promote not only the product, but also to spread awareness. Awareness means public knowledge. Public knowledge of an issue that they did not know was important. For example, some milk in America uses a lot of add-ons that you will not know. So a company will say, our milk doesn't have all of these add-ons that some milks have. So that will help them to promote or spread awareness. It can also help them to level the playing field. And what that means is it makes them even on the same level as other bigger companies. So if you are a smaller company, then you have to compete with big companies. So if you have good advertisement, more people will know about your brand, and then all the big brands with a lot of marketing, it will level the playing field. You will be on the same level. So you can say, the positive impact of advertising for me and for my company is it's vital to our sales. It helps us to reach the target audience that we want to speak to. It helps us to spread awareness. And because we are a small company, it helps us to level the playing field, to get our brand out there because we use a lot of online marketing. And it can even be helpful for social issues. For example, if there are things like drugs, drug addiction, or drunk driving. Sometimes the government will make very shocking or provocative ads to shock people to not want to do bad things like taking drugs or driving while drunk. So they will say something like, there are thousands of deaths every year because of drunk driving. Don't do it. So advertising can be very good for spreading social issues or awareness of problems to make people remember and think so that they will not do it when the situation arrives. So, in conclusion, if you get asked the question, what do you think is the positive impact of advertising on society? You can say that advertising is good for customers because it helps consumers to make informed choices and helps them to decide between different brands. For companies, advertising can be vital to their sales. It can help the company to reach the target audience. It can promote and spread awareness, especially about social issues. And it can level the playing field for smaller companies to get the same reach as huge established companies already have. Now, moving on to the negative impact of advertising, you can use words, or we can say entice or sway consumers. So what entice means it makes you want it. It makes you want something that maybe you didn't know about or maybe you don't need. So it will make customers purchase goods that are not of necessity. Things they don't need, like fancy clothes or fancy cars. But because the advertisement is so good, or they will use celebrities to promote the product, it could sway or entice young people or impressionable people to create a desire that, oh, I must have that, then I will be cool. It can also make consumers buy things impulsively. Impulsive means that you don't think. You don't think about it because the ad was very emotional and grabbed your interest very strongly. Also, a negative aspect of advertising is it can sway people by using false advertising. So for example, people might see an ad that says, this thing is so great, it changed his life, he was sad and now he's happy, even if that product doesn't really do that and uses misleading words to entice or sway people, it will still sway impressionable people with its great use of advertising. So in conclusion, if you get asked, what do you think are the negative aspects of advertising? You can say, I think that false advertising is a very bad thing. It can sway people to buy impulsively, especially young children or older people who are impressionable and don't think a lot. And also, it can make people purchase items that are not necessary at all. And that concludes our topic today for advertising. So, if you're getting ready for your IELTS exam, you can review this video again and again until you are comfortable in expressing yourself and your thoughts and opinion on the topic of advertising. If you wish to see more videos, you can go to bestmytest.com to further your information and to better your vocabulary. Once again, I'm Teacher Neil saying thank you and